Hi, in this video we are going to review together the different uses of quantifiers, and this is a review from your Unit 11. It's a grammar lesson. So, the quantifiers, first you need to understand that you have different quantifiers according to countable or uncountable nouns. So first, let's focus on the countable nouns. Okay, and I remind you that a countable noun is a noun that you can count. For example, apples, cars, houses, people, students, volcanoes, mountains, plains, deserts, waterfalls, and many other words. So it's any word, any noun that you can count. All right? So first, let's focus on the countable nouns. When you want to use a countable noun, you need, for example, before you can use a quantifier. A quantifier is a word that indicates the quantity of the number, that expresses the quantity of the number. So if you have a large quantity of a countable noun, then you can use a lot of. If you have a zero quantity, then you can use not any. Remember that any always need a not before. But if you want to talk about a small quantity or small number of this countable noun, then you need to use the words a few or not many. So now let's see how you can make a sentence using quantifiers with countable nouns. So first, you need to use there are. Why they are? Because are is the plural form. Plural form, and countable noun, we need to always use a plural with a countable noun. So they are a lot of, or a few, or not many, or not any. Then you would use a plural noun. So there are a lot of apples in my bag, for example. Or there are a few apples in my bag. Or there are not many cars in the street. Or there are not any students in class today. So now, as you can see, when you want to use a quantifier with countable nouns, everything needs to be in the plural form. So the verb needs to be plural. That's why we put there are here. And then we need to use the quantifiers that you can use with the countable nouns. And then you need to use a plural noun. That's why I put a line here under the S, so you can see that you always need to put an S at the end of your noun if you're using a quantifier with countable nouns. So always put an S. Now let's move to the uncountable nouns, the quantifiers that we can use with the uncountable nouns. So as you can see, with the uncountable nouns, we can also use a lot of, just like the countable, for the large quantity. If you're talking about a large quantity of something. We can also use not any with the uncountable nouns if we have a zero quantity, just like with the countable, not any. So for example, there is a lot of water in my bottle, or there is a little water in my bottle, or there is not much water in my bottle, or there is not any water at home, for example. So, as you can see here, we use a lot of and not any, just like for the countable nouns with the large quantity and the zero quantity. The difference between the countable and the uncountable quantifiers is here. When you want to talk about a small quantity of of an uncountable noun, then you need to use the quantifier a little or not much. So for example, there is a little rain today in Medina Zaid. Or there is not, or you can put the short version, there isn't much rain today in Medina Zaid. Now let's look at how we can make a sentence using uncountable nouns. So first you need to use the word there is. Okay, there is, or you can use I have or she has. Okay, the most important thing that you need to remember, you always need a singular here. If you want to use there, then you need to use is. Why? Because an uncountable noun, by definition, you cannot count it. Okay, so it's automatically always in the singular form. So you would say there is, and then you would use there is a lot of, or there is a little, or there is not much, or there is not any, and then you would use a singular noun. So never, never, ever put an S at the end of uncountable noun. Don't say there is a little waters. This is wrong. We say there is a little water in my bottle. For example, there is a lot of oil in the bottle, or there is not much coffee in my cup, or there is not, or there isn't any meat in the fridge. Alright, so thank you for watching.